Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning and welcome to the 8th meeting of the Lorain County Board of Commissioners, February 22nd, 2001. I'd like to offer an anonymous thought for the day from Thoughts from Some Bunny Who Cares. Take time to work. It is the price of success. Take time to think. It is the source of power. Take time to play. It is the secret of perpetual youth. Take time to be friendly. It is the road to happiness. Take time to love and be loved. It is a privilege of the gods. Take time to share. Life is too short to be selfish. Take time to laugh. Laughter is the music of the soul. Hello. Is God calling? On our agenda this morning, we have a couple of items. I would just like to let the audience know that the 11 a.m. Architects Justice Center issues will not be considered today because we do not have a full board, so we will move that to next Thursday's meeting. And we do have a proclamation for 10 a.m. when the individual arrives. Maybe the clerk or someone will give a signal and we'll go to that. Oh, and we do have a meeting change for next week, a time. We are going to start our meeting at 9 o'clock next Thursday. And then they, finally you went.
He's smiling.
I have a tear.
And then the Justice Center architect presentation will be at 10:15. Hopefully we will have concluded the regular business by that time. Okay, is that okay, Mr. Cortez?
It's fine with me, and I'm sure it's excellent with Commissioner Moore. So.
Did I say it correctly? All right.
Yes, you did.
That having been said, Madam Clerk.
Okay, under resolutions, I need a motion to approve the Job and Family Services bills for payment.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Investments?
It's your turn.
Oh, so moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye. We could take turns.
Okay.
Appropriations?
So moved.
Okay, second.
Discussion. Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Transfers?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
There are no advances today.
Okay.
Requisitions?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Travel expenses?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Approving bills for payment?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Authorize various personnel actions as indicated on the summary for employees within the jurisdiction of the Lorain County Commissioners.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Need to authorize the release and payment of retainage to Johnson Plumbing, Heating, and Electric of Huron, Ohio in the amount of $2,094 for the addition and alterations to the Lorain County Agricultural Center project. The contract is complete, and the contractor has submitted the necessary paperwork.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Need to issue a notice to proceed letter to Vector Construction of Chagrin Falls, Ohio for the Community Development Block Grant Grafton Village's North Park ADA renovation project effective February 26, 2001. This contract was awarded by resolution number 00-839 that was adopted October 26, 2000.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Approve and enter into the following sub-recipient agreements prepared by the Community Development Department for Fair Housing, Senior Citizens Association, and the Neighborhood House Homeless Shelters. First one with the Lorain County Urban League for $11,400 for fair housing services. Neighborhood House Association for $42,000 for operational assistance of Lorain County Homeless Shelter. And the Senior Citizens Association for $15,000 for counseling services for the elderly of Lorain County.
Also move. Oh, I'm sorry, you weren't done.
These are standard agreements for which CDBG dollars have been allocated for each project. We need to authorize the president to execute on behalf of the board.
Also move.
Second.
Discussion? Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
At this time, I would like to deviate for just a moment and read a proclamation since the recipient is here. This is in the matter of expressing our appreciation and best wishes to Delbert Lancaster for his many years of dedication and devoted service to Lorain County. Whereas Delbert Lancaster is the current president and chief executive officer of the Lorain County Urban League, a position he has held since August 1987 for a total of 14 and a half years. Whereas Mr. Lancaster has worked hard for Lorain County residents to achieve social and economic equality for African Americans, other persons of color, and economically disadvantaged through a variety of programs, services, advocacy, and bridge building among all races. And whereas Mr. Lancaster has earned a bachelor degree in liberal arts with a concentration in sociology and social work from Kent State University and recently obtained a Master of Arts in psychology with a specialization in diversity management from Cleveland State University. And whereas Delbert has utilized his educational background, nearly 28 years of experience, a gentle but firm and tireless approach to make Lorain County a more diverse and culturally enriched location for all Lorain County residents. And whereas Mr. Lancaster has willingly served the county on numerous boards, commissions, and committees during his tenure, and where his membership and opinions were valued by all he served with and represented. And whereas Delbert Lancaster has been married 28 years to Sidney Redmond Lancaster, they reside in Elyria and are members of Jones Chapel African Methodist Episcopal Church. And whereas Delbert will resign his position with the Lorain County Urban League on February 28, 2001, to assume a new position with the United Church of Christ as the Minister of Affirmative Action, Diversity. And whereas Delbert worked with many residents and leaders from every Lorain County community, and he is known and respected by everyone he served for his honesty, integrity, compassion, and commitment. Now therefore it be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners, we are pleased to publicly express our appreciation and gratitude to Delbert Lancaster for his dedication and years of devoted service to the residents of Lorain County. Delbert, if you come to the microphone, I'd like to give this to you. Perhaps Mr. Twining would like to say something because he has worked closely with you, and perhaps Commissioner Moore might have something to say. Well, let's give it to him together.
I certainly appreciate all the work and the tireless effort that Delbert has performed for the county. I will give the mic to him in just a few minutes, but it certainly has been one of the pleasures that I have had in a short period of time I've been with the county to work with Delbert on issues that are very important. We brought him up under false pretense. He's here to hear us appoint the members of the Fair Housing Board, he thinks. So with that, I certainly want to publicly express, as well as the commissioners, our gratitude to Delbert and all the work that he's done for Lorain County.
Of course, I have no speech prepared because this is not what I expected. Let me extend my appreciation to the commissioners for this proclamation, and I extend appreciation to my friend and colleague Ron Twining, who made this possible under false pretenses. Okay. I have enjoyed my tenure here in Lorain County, serving Lorain County Urban League, attempting to serve our constituency. I am pleased that my wife and I will remain in the community. We will remain citizens of Lorain County. It's a great community. We're glad to be a part of it. And I have enjoyed every single committee that I have served on. And I hope that I have made some contribution. And I appreciate this recognition today very much. Thank you.
Delbert. Madam Clerk, will you continue, please?
Okay, Ron. Resolution number 13, to designate Saturday, April 28th, 2001, as Household Hazardous Waste Collection Day in Lorain County. The HHW collection will be held at the Lorain County Community College and Lorain County Joint Vocational School from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Heritage Environmental will be the contractor for this collection.
Mr. Billman, do you have any comments on this for the board or for the listening audience?
Thank you, Commissioners. The only thing I have to say that, or Dan Billman, B-I-L-L-M-A-N. See, I remember. This is a very important event for the county. It has been a good event for us in the past. We look forward to doing this again this year on April 28th. It behooves all the citizens in the county to participate because it alleviates contamination from our to our dump sites. Some of the interesting figures from last year, latex-based paints, we spent about $18,000 getting rid of the latex-based paints that we had, and that amounts to about 18,000 pounds of paints that did not go into the landfill. Those latex paints were recycled. They were not just incinerated like some of the other articles are. Pesticides was another big item. We collected about 936 pounds, okay, which that amounted to about $9,000. Flammable liquids was another big item. It was about, cost us about $120,000 or $20,000 to do that. And it amounted to well over 20,000 pounds. And that is a very large amount. We also collect waste oils, which does not cost us anything. We have a firm that comes in along with Heritage, and they recycle it, and it doesn't cost us anything to do that. So if you got old oil, insecticides, oil-based paints, latex-based paints, please tell your friends and neighbors that we're going to have the program again this year, and please participate.
Thank you, Dan.
Is there any questions?
Also move.
Second.
Any more discussion? Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Continue to adopt the policies and procedures manual as prepared by the Community Development Department for the Lorain Area-Wide Micro-Enterprise Loan Program, which is the LAMP program.
Before we move on this, I would like Mr. Twining to give a little presentation on the merits of this program.
Thank you, Commissioner. My name is Ron Twining, Community Development Director, Twining. I have press releases today that I will give the media. We are now up and running our LAMP program. Again, we've talked about this several times. It's for micro loans between $250 to $20,000. The interest rate will be at prime plus 2.5% for 5 years. There is a lot more information that we could go over, but we've already done that in previous meetings. Today, we are asking the Board of Commissioners to adopt the policies and administrative rules that have been published, and we've circulated those among the commissioners and answered several questions. In addition to that, what this press release is for, assuming the commissioners approve this today, there are 2 training sessions that we want to get out to the public that we've organized. The first one will be Wednesday, February 28th. That's next Wednesday at Lorain Community College in the College Center Room 228, and that time is 1:30 to 3:30. And if you're unable, or if business and potential businesses are unable to make that session, then we are also on the next day, Thursday, March 1st, between 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock, holding the same training session at 6 o'clock in the evening to 8 o'clock at the Lorain County Joint Vocational Center on State Route 58. The orientations will be an effort for the staff to explain what LAMP is, to give people the opportunity to meet the staff and to get the necessary forms and assistance they'll need in order to apply for this program. I'll answer any questions commissioners might have.
I just have one as a kind of a clarification for my own personal information. The lovely pamphlet that's been put together by your department says that the interest rate is up to the prime rate plus 2.5%, and you just said it was prime plus 2. I have a question in my mind. Up to meant that it could be anywhere from 0 up to,
And when
which
we-
is correct.
It's the prime plus 2.5% is what we finally set on. We are in the process of changing that
Okay.
brochure, and we'll get that changed. As we put the administrative rules together, we discovered that it would be a lot easier to have a firm number rather than having a potential argument about what interest rate would be charged.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
Questions?
No.
I will so move.
And second?
Discussion? Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Twining.
Need to authorize the following for the Job and Family Services Department. The first item is a purchase of vertical blinds to cover the north windows in the child support area of their building. The union has requested that these windows be covered so as to reduce the glare on the workers' computer screens in this section of the building. 3 quotes have been received. Bobo's quote was the lowest received in the sum of $1,945, and these blinds will match those that are already installed in the building. Do you want to take these individually or no? No? Okay. Okay. Second one is for the purchase of services contract between the Lorain County Domestic Relations Court and the Child Support Enforcement Agency to provide voluntary mediation services to unwed or divorced parents and parent education seminars which encourage non-custodial parents to support their children. Contract is in the amount of $36,600, effective retroactive to February 1st, 2001 through June 30th, 2001. Third item is to amend the contract with the Oberlin Early Childhood Center. Amendment number 1 is to reflect the extension of a contract for 1 additional month and increasing the value for the Kids Smart Art Program, a traveling art troupe. Total value of the contract is increased by $5,500 for a total amount of $32,457. And the last item is a purchase of services contract with Noah's Ark Child Care Center and Preschool in Lorain, Ohio for the purchase of publicly funded child care services. Contract is effective retroactive to January 1st, 2001, expiring December 31st, 2001. Peggy Thorpe is here if you have any
Do
questions.
you have any questions, Commissioner Moore? And if not, I'll so move.
I'll second.
Any more discussion? Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Advertise for bids for the installation of guardrail at bridge approaches on county roads. Need to publish the notice in the Morning Journal and Chronicle Telegram on February 28th, March 7th, and 14th, 2001.
This is quite a large amount of money that's been allocated to the county engineer's office. Did you want to comment, Mr. Carney?
Good morning. No, briefly, we've received funding. It's a grant. It's for guardrail and safety purposes. The state program's available to us. We applied, we won. We're ready to go to bids. Appreciate your help.
Good. What's the total amount, though? I think it's a sizable amount, worth mentioning.
Hang on a second.
We have the information here. If you don't, I just thought
$198,000.
Thank you, $198,000.
Oh, was this a federal grant or a state grant or?
It's a federal safety grant.
I'm sorry, what's that?
Federal safety grant through administered by the County Engineers Association of Iowa.
So it doesn't qualify for the local preference, or does it?
Sorry, sir, I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, boy. Let me write this down.
Your question again, sir?
Since I was wondering if it qualifies for the local preference. It does? So it doesn't, since it's federal? Okay.
Grant money.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Thanks for waking up, Jim.
Also move.
Second.
No more discussion, hopefully. Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Did authorize the following appointments to the Lorain County Fair Housing Board. Lee Holstrager for 3-year term, effective February 22nd, 2001, expiring February 21st, 2004. Patricia Robinette for a 2-year term, effective February 22nd, 2001, expiring February 21st, 2003.
Commissioner Moore also has the name supplied to us, Rhonda Smith.
No, that was for the,
This is not it?
this was for the
No.
alcohol, Lorain County Drug and Alcohol.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, I
Oh.
apologize.
Oh, we can
I
put her
wanted
in
to
there.
put Rhonda right on
Oh.
here. This was the thing that was vacant, and that was given to me, and it just said you wanted to do
When
this
it comes to my appointments, I'm
Thursday.
running about a week behind on these.
Why don't you just amend the resolution, do these, and also do that at the same time, if you're agreeable to that, Commissioner?
To do what? I'm sorry, you've lost me.
To also add to the alcohol, drug.
Lorain County Fair Housing Board and Lorain County Drug
you
and
gonna appoint
Alcohol.
her to
Put her
both
on
of them?
boards?
No, just the one.
You could just split the resolution into two, and just do
But we
all-
still have a vacancy on the Fair Housing Board.
Correct.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
So she'll have-
Well, I'm finally caught on.
Okay.
Okay. Do we want to wait till we have a full board, I mean, to make the appointment, or do you want to go ahead
I don't have
with
a
the two
problem
that are
with
here?
The two that are there. And
Okay.
then I'll get mine next week.
All right. I'm sorry for the misunderstanding. Then I'll so move.
Second?
More discussion? Mrs. Blair?
You understood all that, right?
Yes.
Aye.
Mhm.
All right.
Mr. Moore, thanks.
Do we add Rhonda Smith as the Lorain County Drug and Alcohol? Was that in there too?
That was
Yes.
supposed to be.
Her
Okay.
term will be effective till June 30th, 2001. I
correct.
believe she's fulfilling
Okay.
an unexpired term.
For the
So
Ricardo Board.
June,
Right.
Okay.
June 30th of
This year.
2001.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Authorize the extension of time to Williams Brothers Builders of Elyria, Ohio for completion of the Community Development Block Grant fiscal year 1999 extension of the Huntington Township Elevator Project to remove architectural barriers. Extension is requested for a period of 21 days due to unseasonably cold weather and the manufacturer's delay in delivery of the elevator. Original date of completion was established as February 28, 2001, with 90% of the work completed. The final punch list items will be finished by March 22nd, 2001. Mr. Twining, the Community Development Director, has reviewed and recommends approval.
Any questions?
So moved.
Second?
Discussion? Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
It authorized the county engineer to assist Grafton Township on a 50-50 basis in replacing 2 culverts on Island Road between Law Road and State Route 303. The township indicated they would purchase the pipe and the county would install the culverts. This is a township road and culverts are township responsibility. The engineer has surveyed, prepared plans, and obtained price quotes for this work. CalCorp Construction of Burbank, Ohio has submitted a quote for a total of $9,480 for culvert number 0003 and $8,420 for culvert number 0057. And it authorized the engineer to also issue a purchase order to CalCorp Construction for these culvert replacements.
Do we have questions?
No.
Also move.
Second?
Discussion? Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Okay. Comments, Mr. Cortez?
I have two hopefully brief issues that I didn't get on the agenda that I'd like to have addressed, and one of them is someone is here to make a presentation from the auditor's office concerning some accounting software, and the other is that Mr. Snodgrass is here to address the need for some additional employee funding down in the auditor's office. So with the board's permission, I would like to have Mrs. Snodgrass come up and speak, if that's acceptable.
Thank you, Mr. Cortez. Good morning, Craig.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thanks, Mr. Cortez. I'm here on behalf of Auditor Mark Stewart, and I've also brought my financial team along, representing our county bookkeeping department and the data processing department. Also, I have a representative from Naris Corporation, Mr. Ed Wachulis, who is our implementation partner on a project that really we've been trying to put together for the past year. I believe for Commissioner Moore, this is probably the first time he's really had an opportunity maybe to review our proposal, and Commissioner Blair, this is something we've been probably talking about for almost a year now. And I assume, Mr. Cortez, you have provided the board with a copy of the NARIS proposal.
Yes, I have.
I'd like to kind of really direct your attention to Well, the first two sections basically introduce NARIS Corporation as well as their approach to implement the project that we're working on with them. Sections 3, 4, and 5 really get down to the nuts and bolts of what they'd like to try to do. We have been really working, well, let me draw your attention to Section 3. It refers to the database, our database concerns. At this point, we are running on a really de-supported database at this point. That does put the county in jeopardy. This has been about 6 months going on, and we really are requesting the funding to upgrade our database. And again, I'd like to also mention that this is an ongoing upgrade. And I think in the proposal it does mention there that Oracle does really change its database about every 2 to 3 years. We're looking for about $43,000 to perform the service, and that's what NARIS's proposal to us is.
What was that? 43 or
If there-
243?
Also, and then if there's any questions, I can go on to Section 4 as well, which that area of the proposal is basically it's to clean up the setups, the tables, all the work that's really been done within Oracle at this point to get us on a very good path for the future. As more and more information keeps getting entered into the system, things start to bog down. You know, we're also trying to work out with the county purchasing department, certain areas. We've had very good recommendations from the county purchasing department on the work that NARIS has performed for them. You know, we do feel very comfortable with the NARIS group, and you know, feel it will be a very successful process. As far as Section 5 is concerned, that is really the ultimate goal of why I think Oracle was purchased in the first place, is to be able to do more analysis and analytical work with the information. Yes, we're paying bills, we're doing checks and so forth, but you know, we need a more high-power system, and Oracle is obviously one of the leaders in the industry, and it's been a good product for us, but now we have to fully utilize the system, and that's where Section 5 will take us as far as analytical work is concerned. Is it absolutely necessary to have today? No. Sections 3 and 4, though, are. We cannot go on with a de-supported database. If the system were to crash, there could be some very serious problems there. Basically, we couldn't pay bills. Again, I'm here to hopefully answer any questions you may have. Also, I have the team here as well that there's some specific questions they may be able to answer as well.
So are you buying hours? Is that what you're buying here with the 308 hours for 43,000? That's
Yes.
what you're buying, right? And is there a way to, I mean, you guys will be managing that so it doesn't go over, or?
Correct. And
What if it goes under?
And if it goes under, we will not get billed for that.
Okay. Now, you guys already paid the money for this already?
No, we have not.
Oh, you haven't?
Again, this is just a proposal that we've been working on again for about a year now.
Okay.
And we really need to act upon it in some way.
Commissioner Moore, they're requesting funding for this proposal from the Board of Commissioners.
They are?
Yes, sir.
So they haven't paid for it yet?
No, sir.
Okay.
And the money's not allocated to them in their budget to be able to pay for this at this time.
Okay, thanks.
The total of items 3 and 4, I believe, is $72,060. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and I just want to ask about the analytical part. You said that wasn't necessary now, but it might be in the future, or it might be advantageous. There's a couple of, that's a little bit better than $11,000, $12,000 for that portion.
And again, if I
Correct?
can also talk to you about the Section 5, bottom line cost for Section 5 is $3,668. That would have NARIS come in, and they would do analytical reviews of different general ledger, payables, purchasing, those different areas. And then if there's a group that would like to use the analytical sections, such as the purchasing department, that's where the $8,646 would come in. That would be their particular cost for their function. So the $3,668 would be incurred no matter what, and then depending on how many units or areas you would use, whether it's like a general ledger group, say the budget department, say the purchasing department, each unit would have a cost of approximately $8,600.
Each unit?
Each unit, yes. And again, that's where you may not get many people that want to really utilize that area. There may not be a need for it. Again, that's why I said that section is more of an optional area. It's something that could be explored down the road, and probably should be. And again, as I'd just like to reiterate, sections 3 and 4, we really need to do. Sections 5, we can hold off on, do some more analysis work, and go down the road with that.
Okay, and I think that 3 and 4 is probably what you asked for last July, and we didn't come to a decision on that at the time. Is that
Correct.
correct?
Okay.
I would like to ask Mr. Rokasi, how much money do we have unappropriated at this point in time? Ballpark?
Unappropriated money, Commissioner, would be approximately $3 million.
Thank you.
Is that including,
Pardon me?
that's including what we did last week with the transportation, correct?
That would be total general fund.
Okay.
Was that minus the money we gave to transportation last week?
Yes, that would be
Okay.
net of that amount.
Okay.
Meaning that was included to bring it down to 3.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks, I wondered about that.
Do you want to hear his other proposal? Do you want to consider this? Are you ready to take action today, or
Yeah, I
what's
don't
your
have a
pleasure?
problem, I don't have a problem with the 72.
Okay.
I appreciate the fact that they didn't spend the money and came to us and asked for it.
They better not.
Well, that remains to be seen. We're gonna see
The
what they have to say.
auditor would be the first one to tell you that that's not kosher. Isn't that right, Craig?
Is that right, Craig?
Yes, well.
Okay, then you might as well start,
Depends.
might as well start talking about the next reason why you're here.
Do we want to take action on this first?
Sure, I'll, for the 72,000, I'll move.
And $60.
I don't know about 60.
Well, that's part of it. It's part of the proposal.
I'm messing with you, Betty. Yeah.
Okay.
72,000.
You have to know
60.
that I'm an old clerk.
Oh, that's
You know,
okay.
I'll second.
Any more discussion? Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Okay.
Next.
Yes, I presume the commissioners do have a letter dated January 24th, 2001, in reference to the request for additional appropriation.
They do not.
Okay. Well then, I guess basically, you know, upon receiving our appropriations in roughly December of last year, in noticing in particular our salary appropriations, I do believe that there was a 5% amount that was to be appropriated for salary increases. I know I've worked with Mr. Rokasi in that regard to bring our funding levels up to that position. However, also we had 2 additional new hires, which again is explained in the letter that I will more than happy to get you a copy of. We had 2 new hires during the year in anticipation for the reappraisal. And I believe probably pretty much everyone's aware that some of the property values did go up this year. And that has also caused again, mandated by law, we have to do our 6-year reappraisal. And again, that increases a great deal of the traffic flow in our office. We're averaging over 60, 70 people a day coming through asking about values on top of the normal work that would normally come in. So we've had to actually hire 2 new people during the year, of which time we did have the funding for last year. However, if you carry out the appropriation on an annualized basis, it wasn't sufficient this year to cover their salaries. Again, one of the individuals directly works with the homestead individuals. We anticipate starting, if not actually enhancing our outreach program to actually go out to the different senior centers and so forth and talk about the real estate and the homestead areas as well as CAUV and so forth. Again, by law, we cannot absorb those costs in our real estate assessment fund, and we do need that funding in the general fund accounts. We also have another individual that is working in our GIS map department. And again, that's assisting contractors, builders, the general public in locating their parcels in a property and so forth. Part of his cost, yes, we can recover from our real estate assessment fund. However, the balance of his salary, again, cannot be supported through that fund, but needs to be supported through the general fund. And last year, we did have enough appropriation to cover the cost for a mid-year salary. So that's why I come before you to ask for that additional funding to now cover that shortfall that we are experiencing.
What is the dollar amount you're asking for?
For the additional employees, it was approximately $34,500.
And what portion are you taking out of DRETAC then?
That is only the general fund portion.
Yes, my question is what portion is coming out of DRETAC?
Additional 15,000, 14,500.
So it's not an even split?
No, because the one employee is strictly general fund, and the other employee we can split.
When did you hire the general fund? Are you asking us to hire them, or did you already hire them?
No, we hired her in November.
Of November?
Yes.
Both of them?
No, the other employee we hired approximately June of last year.
Prosecutor office, do they come to us to hire? Don't you come to us with an employee to hire before you ask for money? Is that what you do?
They are an appointing authority. They have the authority to hire on their own. They have to come to you for the funding to pay for
Funding to
those
pay for it?
hires.
Okay.
$34,500 additional appropriation will take care of the needs of these employees this year. Does that include their hospitalization and PERS, et cetera?
That is strictly salary.
So this is not just a $34,500 amount, though. There's more involved then.
So we would probably be looking at about $6,000 in benefits without the PERS and about another 13.5% the PERS account on top of that, correct?
Yes.
I think that we should see all of this, plus the letter of request.
Okay, well, you can add 6,000 for the healthcare, and you can take another ballpark figure of about 15% on what he's asking for Medicare and PERS.
I want to see it on a sheet of paper.
I understand, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Is this standard practice for the auditor to do this?
As far as
To hire people and then ask for funding later?
again, we did have the sufficient appropriation last year. Again, as you annualize it out, we did not have sufficient funding.
But you guys are the accountants, man. You should be able to figure this out.
Well, if we knew our appropriation a little ahead of time, it would be helpful to plan
Really?
out. It would be.
I'd like to see your letter of request, Craig, and I'd also like to see the budget director put together just exactly what we need, and we could address that
Right.
next week.
Yeah,
Okay?
Right.
I've already instructed Mr. Rokusi to break it out on a spreadsheet with all the benefits and so forth. There was also some overtime, Craig, that you were looking for, some funding for overtime?
Well, again, obviously with the reappraisal, and that was a big part of the plan. You can't just hire somebody today to take care of the public and expect them to know the job. They do need to start a little bit in advance to learn what they're going to do. And now, again, like I said, we do have quite a bit of overtime this year due to the reappraisal work. There's been a lot of Saturdays spent here at the office trying to catch up on day-to-day work, as well as trying to go out. We also had a lot of nighttime places where we would show people their values and try to get out there. Well, that does cost us money in overtime. And we feel that that should be also included within that area. Again, just because the taxes are paid as of the last week or so, now the board of revision cases will start to come up, and again, that will take up additional staff time. So it's not just a very short period, but it will be at least for a good 6-8 months at the minimum that will cost additional time. And that's why I did request some additional funding for overtime this year.
So the net request, absent benefits, was 48,000?
It was 44,500, Jim.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Craig.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Madam Clerk?
One last item. Once again, I probably have said this before, but I would like to have the board commend Mr. Twining's staff for the hard work they put into the microenterprise loan program. It's growing every day. Have many loans yet, but the money keeps coming in from banks. I understand Ron's too humble to say so, but Ron, I think Fifth Third Bank is coming on board with us now, and I don't know if I understand the amount that they're pledging. Have we gotten a final number on that from them?
Not yet.
Okay, but his staff has really done a tremendous job down there, and I want to point that out again to the board on that loan program. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cortez.
Okay, Assistant County Prosecutor, Mr. Ennis?
I still need to get an executive session regarding litigation, which we did not have this week because of Mrs. Vasey's absence. So if sometime next week, either Tuesday or Thursday, we can have an executive session.
Tuesday.
I'll add it to my agenda. So. Okay, that's all, Jerry? Okay, no
Thank you,
presidents,
Jerry.
so no presidents. Oh, excuse me.
And you wouldn't turn the heat up for me today either, Roxanne.
Yeah, but
That's a bad habit.
But at least she didn't call you Mr. Ross, so.
Close.
I
apologize.
I'm
President's report, let's move on.
Thank you. I have none this morning.
Good.
Since you didn't want me to talk anyway.
Commissioner's report.
Well, not today.
Is there any old business?
I have none.
None.
No pending issues?
I have none.
None.
New business?
None.
None.
Public comment?
Public comment. Anyone who cares to address the board this morning, please come forward, state your name. I don't see any takers. Okay.
None.
None.
News media.
News media? Does the news media have anything they want to ask or say today?
None.
Welcome, all of you.
Board correspondence?
I move the reading be waived.
Second.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Is that all
That
this meeting?
concludes our,
That's 40 minutes, and I think next week will probably be less, correct?
I have a feeling that we're going to be here for quite a while. I'd pack a brown bag.
Yep.
Oh.
If anybody wants to attend next week, just kind of be prepared for a long meeting.
remembering that we start at 9
No.
next week. Okay.
Can we have some cookies?
No.
Donuts.
Not good for you. I move we adjourn.
Second.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
We're adjourned.